Hello, welcome to the MCRL's Rally Championship here in Monaco. Just getting ready for the first stage here at Pral de Arles. I think I pronounced that right, probably not. Yeah, Monaco is very notorious for its snowy roads and its very harsh drops, narrow roads, so we expect perfection here. Got three drivers, Oscar, Skylar, Komodo, and it's got Hemi, all in three different cars, the Citroen, the Ford and the Skoda, as we get ready for the first stage. So yeah, with bright sunny conditions we should expect some good driving here, low times, but of course it requires all the wills of all the drivers to be able to get a good time around here. So yeah, we'll just wait for one driver to ready up and then we should be getting going here.
Starts 100. Keep left into two right tightens. Good luck.
Here we go, start stage 1.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
And underway here in Monaco, Skylar, it's got Hemi and Oscar all getting off to a good start here. Oscar is leading, no, Oscar's staying right behind. All three of them training positions here, the first early cup corners. This 6 mile long first stage is going to really challenge the drivers and get them used to the Monaco roads. You can go fast here, but you gotta be precise, as it seems like Skylar's taking the early lead with Oscar and it's got Hemi battling it out here for second place. Did back to it's got Hemi here, going quite fast here in the Citroen, having to ease off a little bit of power on the exit there, trying to keep off those rocky walls. Those could really easily send the car into a spin, and you don't want to be backward here in Monaco because it's really hard to get back the right way. Oscar Mayer taking up the rear here in third place, staying really tight into that inside, kicking up a little bit of gravel there on the inside. He is having to let off quite a bit of power, trying to keep off the wall. Oh, slight tap there at the bump of the side there. Still keeping it relatively straight, as all three of them are still tightly compact. Come around the next couple of hairpins. Luckily none of the drivers have yet to make a single puncture here. We've seen quite a lot of punctures all around these rally tracks. Mainly in, I think it was Australia that they got quite a few punctures across the field. Here you go, Skylar, a little bit up the road here, keeping that power down through that hairpin. You'll see a lot of hairpins down here in Monaco. The mountainous roads having a lot of hairpins and a lot of really slow corners, with a couple fast corners sprinkled in. As look, we come out to another quite long hairpinish, like you can see that snow, that sleet, a little bit of ice there, all contributing to that slippery road. As you can see, the snow banks on the sides and that wall losing quite a bit of grip. You can see it went straight into that wall as soon as it hit the ice. You've really got to try and keep the control here. And it seems that Skylar's being able to keep the most control as he's starting to pull a little bit of a gap here. Just switch back to it's got Hemi a little bit further behind as he comes around this hairpin, trying to keep enough of the outside. Wants to keep as close to the inside to get that extra little bit of couple of tenths. But doesn't want to hit the crowd because that's quite a time penalty. Around that hairpin, you can see there's quite a little bit of snow now. The drivers will be losing quite a bit of grip if they haven't equipped the winter tires, which are a little bit slower, but they will provide a lot more grip on that ice. So switch back to Oscar. Oh, he hits those parked cars. sends it into a spin. You can see that he lost quite a bit of ground there on It's Got Hemi by hitting those cars. These parked cars provide a little bit of extra caution that you gotta take to not hit them, because they will send you into a spin as easy as cliffs. So reach the halfway point of the first stage. Back on board with Skylar. Here he comes into another hairpin. He's seeing quite a bit of a lead now. So all the drivers seem to have spaced out in the start of the second half of the stage. As we can see, a little bit more ice than we did lower down. And still this snow, this ice, finding less and less grip for the drivers to try and keep on. You see those sheer drops, they can eliminate a car so easily. You gotta be extra cautious whenever the barrier stops, like there. You see those parked cars again. It's Got Heavy, it seems to have dropped back a little bit from Skylar. Ooh, that side there, able to keep up the momentum. You can see a lot more ice, a lot more snow. As he goes wide into the crowd, that's going to cost him some time. See Oscar and are starting to catch up as well. As he starts to slip and slide on that ice, but he's keeping it relatively together. Not more than what It's Got Hemi did, going into that crowd there on the inside. As he's able to catch up. So he could be pulling, It's Got Hemi could be pulling a little bit of a gap here. As he's trying to not fall off the edge here. Trying to keep it close to the inside whilst keeping it fast. And keeping the car off the wall as we enter quite a thick, snowy, icy area. See drivers taking it more cautiously. It's Got Hemi going wide here. Slightly clipping that snow wall that keeps them in. Prevents them from falling off the sheer cliff edge right next to them. As you see, Oscar bringing quite a bit more throttle, trying to catch up to It's Got Hemi, who seems to be struggling here in the snowy-ish conditions. As he goes a bit wide here, slightly taps the rear end. His car almost sideways, almost parallel to the road. I mean perpendicular to the road. But he's keeping it under control. Nearly spinning it, but keeping it the power right on the limit here. But he seems to tap the outside wall. He's not providing as much grip as he wants. There we go. Put up the volume a little bit. Here we go. Back on board with Skylar. He seems to be doing quite well in these snowier conditions up at the later end of the stage. Keeping his car under control. Keeping it at a nice lower angle. Keep the control, keep the momentum, keep the throttle. Pushing him forward rather than pushing him sideways. As he comes across the line to win the first stage, It's Got Hemi barely ahead of Oscar, as he's having trouble putting that power down, keeping the revs very high. Here he goes, full throttling here. Ooh, rolling across the finishing line. As Oscar tries to keep the throttle down, tries to take a little more cautious line than It's Got Hemi. As It's Got Hemi, Skylar wins the first stage, It's Got Hemi second, and Oscar third. But both Skylar and It's Got Hemi got a penalty for that stage. Meanwhile, Oscar kept it clean. Looking at the stage notes, a little bit of damage to all the cars, but nothing major I can see as we get ready for the next stage. Here we go, 3.22 miles for the Gondor Corte Ascente, Monte, which means ascent in, I believe, French is the national language in Monaco. His drivers get ready for the power stage.
Starts 100. Keep left into 2 right tightens. Good luck.
Here we go, the power stage here in the Monaco Rally. Shorter stage, but
5,
we'll see how they go.
3, 2, 1, go.
And they're underway here for the second stage. All drivers battling off here at the start as they come into a tight corner. First corner, it seems like Oscar and It's Got Hemi is still fighting, but It's Got Hemi is battling Skylar here for the lead. But I think Skylar's taking lead. Oh, he's still battling here. As it seems to be more tarmac than snow. But it seems like It's Got Hemi is slowed down a little bit as now battling Oscar here for second place. Oscar briefly took the lead there. Oh, he's taking second place there. I think he's now secured second place if he can keep this run on him. Second down, it's got Hemi. Got quite a bit of bumping and bruising there on his rear end. As all three of them are still tight to come back. They clear the first quarter of the track as they come up to the toward the halfway point. Oscar able to keep on second place, and he held on to get those extra vital bonus points on the championship. Switch over to Oscar. He's got quite a bit of bumps on that Skoda, but he's still keeping strong. And just bring up, oh no, it's the wrong championship. So yeah, It's Got Hemi is currently leading the Drivers' Championship, so losing these points could lose him his current lead. And Skylar is in second, Oscar Runner third. But Oscar Runner, it's only 1 point between It's Got Hemi and Skylar. So these points are vital as, ooh, Oscar goes a little bit wide, clipping that wall, allowing It's Got Hemi up into second place. Oscar is quite a few points behind, nearly 40 points behind Skylar in the battle for second place in the driver's standing. So he really needs all the points he can get to try and catch up. Skylar seems to be taking another commanding lead. There's quite a fast section here as they come up to the finals sector. Quite a lot of straights in this stage, especially near the end where there's only really 2 major hairpins. This will try drivers to be very brave on the power to keep the momentum up to be able to keep in the lead. As all drivers seem to be pushing back together again, we could see a final dash to the end. It seems like Skylar seems to be keeping it close, keeping them at bay. As they all pull back up together again. It could be close coming up to the line. But it looks like Skylar's taking it, with It's Got Hemi going to get second place. And Oscar takes third place. Looking at the stage notes, still all minorish damage. Nothing really exciting just yet. But we'll wait as they go to the repair stations before starting the next stage, stage 3. Now they've got penalties that stage. Here, another 3 miles. They get ready for a descent here up a mountain. It's nearly 700 feet drop from the start to the finishing line. Shows how extreme these ascents and descents are in Monaco. But most of this is switching back and forth. A lot of hairpins. It's mostly the hairpins that are helping with the descent. But of course with the descent stages you are going to be going faster. And these extra speeds can really make it a lot more tricky, especially with snow. Snow and speed don't mix together, they usually involve an accident. Right, I'm just going to quickly turn the volume down a little bit. Like so, there we go. Those speed and snow don't mix together, they could cause accidents. And descents can really help speed up your car to get ready for the next stage.
24, lift of a crest, 50. Good luck.
Here we go at the start finishing at the starting line. You have stage 3. Getting ready for the red lights.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
And they're underway here for the third stage. Immediate quick turn as they start their descent. The snow and slush not helping with the greatest start here for Oscar. But he is battling with it's got Hemi, but Skylar's taking commanding lead. It seems like the Stones' eyes seem to be his territory here, as both the Skoda and the Citroen are battling here. Skylar running a little bit wide, slightly tapping out walls, tapping in the snowbanks, but he's able to keep it together. He's down to Oscar Runner, who's able to take up second place for now. But feels like it's got Hemi is gonna. Yep, he's up into second place again. Now it's Oscar. Both of them switching back and forth. But it seems like Oscar takes the lead through the corners, but as soon as it comes onto the straights, it's got Hemi is down the power and able to speed up and get past him. Here we go, could we see him? He seems to be later on the braking, but that seems to affect him as Oscar makes a slight error, slightly tap that snowbank, but it doesn't take him in. Take him for a spin. And to switch down to, yeah, it's got a Hemi. Being a lot more cautious in the braking there, as it doesn't seem that sure on the snow. As you can see him dropping up gears to low RPMs. And he's trying to keep the car in a straight line. But the back end keeps kicking out under the snow. Skylar seems to be going quite far ahead. You can see on the mini map on the right hand side. I mean the left hand side, my mistake. See that Skylar's taking quite a commanding lead as he reaches the halfway point. Oscar seems to be pulling away, but it's got Hemi pulling him right back in under that short straight. The Citroen's power is absolutely mesmerizing. It's able to get up to high speeds really quick, but as soon as it enters the corners, it just can't handle as well as the Skoda. Here we go, back on the straight. You can see that quick pickup speed. He has to brake really heavy for this slight corner, but then instantly back on the power, back on the speed. And it seems like the slush and ice should be slowly fading away, meaning he could get the power down here. Nice smooth tarmac here. Nice long straight. He could get past Oscar. He is battling him into this corner, but he seems to. Ooh, he goes slightly wide. Luckily, he doesn't puncture a tire on that wall. Still dropping down. Doesn't seem like Monaco's the greatest for the Citroen, as there's just too many corners for him to be able to put enough power down. Though saying that, he's up in second place, but there goes Oscar. So he enters the corner, just can't take it. Meanwhile, Skylar's Ford seems to be doing best at both. But he's able to get quite far up in the lead. It's got Hemi's back up in second place here. So I assume that Oscar will be able to bring back up. Just gotta keep trying this hairpin towards the finishing line. Last dash as he crosses the line to win the third stage. It's got Hemi. It's in second place as he comes around the final hairpin. He gets on the power, and with this straight, he'll be able to take the lead. Just being Oscar, who has a 4-second time penalty. Looking at the stage, it's only minor body damage, but Oscar's got radiator steaming, as well as minor body damage and wheel wobbling. So we could see a little bit of a performance mishap. I guess it wasn't surprising why he wasn't able to beat It's got Hemi on the straights, because his car can put down the power. So it'll be getting ready for stage 4 in a moment. Here we go, a 6.7 mile descent here. You see quite a lot of hairpins, quite a few long straights, as well as a few medium to high speed corners. So this could be very interesting. Nearly 1,500 feet change between the start and the finishing line. All those hairpins can really equate to a large drop in height, because that's quite a few stories of a building just down in one road.
Start 30, turn 2 left, into 5 right. Good luck.
There we go, starting back on the snow and slot. Get ready for the stage 4.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
And underway here for stage 4. Oh, quick turn there. Scott was able to get off into the lead early. Oscar and Runner in second place. It's got Hemi third. As those couple of quick corners won't be that great for the Ford here. I mean, not the Ford, the Citroen. Though, it's got Hemi is able to battle Oscar here for second place quite early on. It seems like Oscar's taking that lead, as Skylar seems to be pushing them both away here. It's got Hemi and Oscar battling it out here for second place still. Neither of those two are far away on track. As we enter the first split, we'll see what times are. Skylar goes quite slow, able to get that rear end out. Here we go, will the times be posted up? No, says the scoreboard, because why would it want to work? But anyway, Oscar Runner has been able to take second place now. But I presume it's got Hemi. It's not that far behind, as he starts to put the power down here for this long straight. So he's having to brake for these quick corners. The snow and slush. So you can see that we are starting to slowly come back onto tarmac again. So we could see some late stage performance boosts here from the Citroen, as he slightly taps that wall there. Come around this hairpin, he's going very wide, mounting that outside wall, and very late on the power there, but able to keep the car under control. Seems like Oscar Runner seems to be pulling away a little bit. Now Skylar's starting to pull quite a bit of a lead here. So saying that, it's got Hemi could come up and meet Oscar here on track. Or time wise, I mean. As you can see, we've got quite a few straights here. So he's having to brake a bit. It slightly taps that wall, but doesn't need to be losing that much momentum. But here comes another hairpin. Well, very late on the power. You could never get those hairpins quite right. Or you can never really keep the speed up going round them. Switch back to Oscar runner here. I haven't seen much of him. We'll see how he handles it. It's very early on the accelerator, but that's good because he's able to get up its speed quicker and able to outpower the Citroen early on, early in the acceleration zone. Although he does go wide here, slightly tapping that wall. This will be costly, but he's still able to get second place here. Though his gap isn't as big as before. Meanwhile, Skyler's being able to pull quite a big gap here between them. He seems to be untouchable, so I think it's literally just going to be a battle here for second place. Those Oscar's having to brake quite a bit. Seems to be tapping either side. Slightly tapping that inside wall. Comes into the hairpin. He's able to keep the high revs, high speed, ready to launch out that corner. Meanwhile, we'll switch back to It's got Hemi. He's having to lift up power. You see him. You can see the difference between the Skoda and the Citroen. The Skoda is able to keep the high revs up, going through that hairpin to be able to launch the power off. But then with the Citroen, you've got to lift off all the power, go into low revs, and then build the revs back up as you exit the corner. Meaning he's going to have to try and build up that speed. We're also able to get off to a quick launch out of that corner. See him keeping the revs up high, going through most corners. See, keeping the revs up, medium to high through those couple of corners. Lifting up a little bit whenever he doesn't feel too sure about the car. Ooh, he's getting very close to that wall, luckily not able to make any contact. You can see that slower launch as he has to come to nearly a complete halt before he's then able to build back up that revs and able to launch off. See him playing around with the revs there through that corner. See, it's going to have in the next hairpin. You'll see how his throttle management is. Ooh, slight tap the wall. Pinballing off those walls, but able to keep it only medium contact. I've seen him coming back onto the tarmac here. This should give It's got Hemi that little bit of extra boost they didn't have on that slippery snow. So we'll hopefully see him able to pull back in Oscar runner here, as the gap seems to be closing. So see if he can overtake him at the last two sectors, I mean. See, he's able to keep the momentum up whenever he's on the tarmac. I was hoping to be able to see both the cars go around the hairpins. As you can see, my controller batteries have decided to die. Oh, don't you love when technology just decides, nah, fam. Here we go. Used to have batteries in. If we go, we can continue. Yeah, you can really tell the difference between the Skoda and the Citroen whenever they come to up to hairpins. Oh yeah, remember when Skylar was in this? Yeah, he's just coming up to the fishing line now. And across the line to win the 4th stage. He could be going for a clean streak here, as Oscar seems to be slightly ahead of It's Got Hemi, but they are coming up closer together. As you can see, these long straights where It's Got Hemi is able to pull up back the time gap. Ooh, he thinks the corner is tighter than it is. This could give It's Got Hemi a little bit of extra speed. We'll see. Ooh, he just barely gets that. And it seems like Oscar got a 4-second time penalty that stage. So it's Skylar first, It's Got Hemi second, and Oscar down in third. See, Oscar has basically broken his engine. Radiator's gone. He's lost the turbo pressure. Meanwhile, It's Got Hemi's only got body damage and broken headlights, a bit of track rod. And Skylar, absolutely clean car except for that tiny bit of body damage. Still, they'll have one last repair station before they come up to stage 5. So we'll see how they go for the second to last stage after this repair station. See. Okay, next stage. 4.25 miles. Nearly 1,000 feet change. And quite a few long straights, quite a few hairpins. And then these quick little sections, as well as these 45-degree corners. This could give It's Got Hemi what he needs, because he needs those power heavy tracks, those tracks that are able to basically absolutely throttle it. We'll see if these 2 last stages provide him with what he needs. Skylar finished up on the repairs in the surface area. He had nothing really to do except for maybe tune a little bit and repair that little bit of minor body damage. So we'll wait for them to finish up. But for Oscar and It's Got Hemi taking quite a bit of time here. It's Got Hemi now ready. Here we go.
4 left and 3 right and 2 left long. Good luck.
A lot of tight corners there as we get ready here for stage 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
And they're underway here for stage 5 of 6. Skylar getting off to a good start with it. It's got Hemi second and Oscar in a third. Oscar could pull back in these quick technical sections, but here we are onto one long back straight. One of those long straights. Can see a little bit of ice, a little bit of sludge, so we could see that coming up later on the stage. But it seems to be purely tarmac now. As we see, It's Got Hemi able to keep that power up here. We see a little bit more ice coming in. Those could give. Ooh, it seems like Oscar retired from the stage. I don't know what happened there, but he seems to have retired. Just that was a 2-horse race here for the 5th stage. This could put him out of the rally as well, as I don't think he'll be able to make up that time in the final stage. Still, a lot of power focus here, but it seems like, ooh, it's got Hemi slightly tapping that wall, unable to make a good entry into the hairpin. That's really cost him quite a bit of time, as he's now spun, facing the wrong way. The one thing you don't want to do at Monaco. As you can see, that very slow turnaround. It's underway again. But he's lost quite a bit of time to Skylar here, who is currently taking the lead. Yeah, slight ice and slight sludge. He is having to take it cautiously to come up to the hairpin. So we could see the track getting a lot more snowy in a moment. He tries to keep the power down, tries to keep it going. You can see he's having to be quite active between the throttle and the brakes, as well as lifting off quite a bit. Like tapping that inside wall, trying to find all the track he can to try and find every inch of speed he can get through these tight corners. Come to the hairpin. Oh, not the greatest braking there, as he's had to go a little bit wide, slightly kicking up a little bit of snow there, but he's able to keep it on track. As it's got heavy, seems to have parked it. I think he's spun, but he's now back round. Here we go, back into the snow. Yeah, this could be. It's got Hemi's doom here, the snow. Got, though we can see bits of tarmac coming in and out. I don't think it's going to last. So he's going to have to suffer here on the snow. As you see him go wide, slightly tap that snowbank as he comes back on track here. He seems to have gone a bit wide there in that hairpin. Excuse me. As we're losing a bit of time, see him having trouble putting the power down, having to go into the lower gears, try and build up the torque, build up the power to be able to get the car into the direction he wants it to go. See low revs going around that corner, trying to keep it on track, being able to put his foot down and be able to go in that direction. Low revs trying to come round. I think he's building back up the revs, keep it in the way he wants it to go. Ooh, slightly tap the wall there. Switch back to Skylar. See, he's constantly at the high gears. High torques, high power, high gears. Or I mean, low gears, high power, high torque. Because that should give him the oomph he needs to go in that direction he wants the car to go. He can just point it, put down the throttle, and then be able to push his car that way. Comes up to the finishing line. Across the finishing line here to win the stage 5. As it's got him coming around the final corner. Here to take 2nd place. Put you over the stage notes. Oscar Runner seems to have lost turbo pressure, engine misfiring. Did he forget to repair his engine or something? Because I remember last time in Spain, was Emi forgot to repair his engine, and he said he couldn't even move off the starting line. So is this another? Is this a reoccurrence of the engine misrepairs? Of them just not being able to repair engines? I do not know. What we do know is that we're going to head into the final stage here. Another ascent here, only 500 feet change. Still. Grueling last stage. Smooth asphalt, snow and ice. 2.5 miles. Seems to be mostly medium to high speed corners. Only like 2 hairpins. And quite a lot of straights.
Start. Keep left over 30, 3 right. Good luck.
Here we go, get ready for the final stage here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
And they're underway here for the final stage. Skylar getting off to a good start with Oscar on her second, and it's got Hemi third. We're going to switch back to Oscar. Oh, you can hear that engine really struggling to put the power down here. It's got Hemi seems to have got past him on these long straights. That won't really help Oscar's dying engine. I don't think. Oh, but he has been able to get past this guy, Hemi. Oh, he seems to have crashed. I think he spun. I think he was. Yeah, he's gone to repair a puncture. He's lost quite a bit of time here on Oscar Runner. He's lost quite a bit of time here on Skylar. And Skylar seems to be having a good stage here, as he's had no issues. Meanwhile, Oscar's engine isn't running as well as it should be. And it's got Hemi seems to have spun and lost a tyre. Or punctured a tyre, so he decided to repair it whilst he was stationary. Still, these long straights aren't really helping Oscar Runner get away from It's Got Hemi. So it could be that we could see It's Got Hemi pulling back the time here, able to take second place. But he's only got less. He's got less than half a stage to catch. He's only got half a stage to catch him. Meanwhile, Skylar's coming up to the 3/4 mark. See him having troubles with these high-speed corners. Meanwhile, Skylar's nearing the top here. He comes down this long straight. I think this is the last hairpin. He starts to power up. Slight jumps there. Have it slow down, try and keep the car under control as he comes across the finishing line. Here we go, Oscar Runner coming into the same last hairpin. It's a little bit of lag there, but that's fine. These 2 long straights, this will really help It's Got Hemi, who's got the car that has the power to catch him. But has he got the time? As Oscar Runner comes around the final hairpin, they only have a sector between each other. I don't think he's got the time here. It doesn't look like it as Oscar Runner comes around the final corner, up the hill to the finishing line. As there goes our tyre. Told you someone below a tyre here, and it's got Hemi that's below the tyre, and it's his front left. Final stage. You can never go a rally without someone blowing their tire. As he slowly but surely, oh, he seems to have parked it. Interesting. But still, a minute time penalty for It's Got Hemi to repair that tire. Skylar takes first, Oscar Runner second, It's Got Hemi third. And looking at the event results, it seems like Skylar's won the rally with It's Got Hemi second, Oscar Runner third. Skylar's beating out It's Got Hemi by what seems to be 3 minutes and 14 seconds. And nearly a whole 10 minutes ahead of Oscar. Still, this has been the MCRL's Rally Championship here in Monaco. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Monaco Grand Prix in F2. See you guys then.